This is the Stingray Show. Hope all is well with you guys on this Wednesday morning. There is a huge matchup in the SEC this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that, of course, is Alabama and Oklahoma in baseball. Oklahoma previously had come off two amazing series wins over A&M and LSU, then ran into a buzzsaw that is the Texas Longhorns this past weekend and got swept. Alabama, on the other hand, dropped the first series to Kentucky and then back-to-back sweeps itself over Florida and Auburn. Something has to give in Norman, Oklahoma this weekend. Will it be Roll Tide or Boomer Sooner? Let's dive in to the action on the diamond starting tomorrow night with Oklahoma and Alabama on this edition of the Stingray Show.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Look out, you're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, Here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And of course, with that, we want to welcome you inside the Alabama and Oklahoma preview show for college baseball. This is a major matchup this weekend in Norman, Oklahoma. And Alabama has not been to Norman, Oklahoma as a member of the SEC. So this is going to be an interesting little thing and nugget there, that Alabama travels to Norman for the first time as they are now conference opponents. And this game will first pitch be tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. To break down the Oklahoma side of this matchup, that's where we're starting now. We are about to be brought on by Carson Field, who is a Oklahoma reporter. Carson, how are things with you in Norman, Oklahoma?
Doing great, Stephen. Thank you so much for having me on. Like you said, this should be a really interesting series, both teams with a lot to play for, so excited to break it down with you.
So briefly, talk about the track record of Oklahoma before the Texas series, and then what you think happened during the Texas series, please.
Yeah, the non-conference was largely successful. They won one game against Arizona State, won 3 games to open the year against TCU, Oklahoma State Tech. This team climbed all the way into the top 10, started off well in SEC, winning a series against Texas A&M at home, LSU on the road. Even if those teams that are usually powers in this conference may be a little bit down this year, still a lot of talent. Impressive to win series like that, especially when you go to a place like Alex Box Stadium. So really it was finding ways to win close games, win gritty games, a lot of games where things didn't go right all the time. 4-2 after that weekend. Then they run into Texas, like you said, on the road against a team that is very good, pitching-wise, hitting-wise. Not easy to win any games on the road, but especially against a team like that. And it was kind of a wake-up call, I think, for this team, losing the first game 14-0. Nothing went right that game, then losing 2 very close games the next 2. next 2 days, you kind of didn't see that same magic that they were able to generate in some of those close games against LSU and A&M. But Texas is a really good baseball team, so this is a big opportunity for OU this weekend.
So talk about Alabama coming in because they've never been to Norman as a member of the SEC. Talk about the matchup between Alabama and Oklahoma and what concerns you the most with Alabama coming in, having swept both Florida and Auburn, and now they're hitting a Oklahoma team that is reeling just a little bit. Talk about what concerns you the most in that matchup.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, Alabama, Oklahoma, I don't know if rivalry is the right word, but it's kind of getting a little bit of just maybe some opposition between the teams with them playing twice this year, one of those games being a college football playoff game. Basketball was a really close game. Obviously, last year, OU, when it wasn't very good, took down a Bama team, essentially eliminated them from the playoffs. So just kind of an all-sports rivalry kind of starting up between these teams, which is kind of fun. But like you said, Alabama's playing as good as anybody right now in the nation. Justin LeBron, obviously, what can be said about him? The fielder he is, the hitter he is, one of the best players in this league. So they are getting a really good Alabama team, following a really good Texas team last week, and they do get the home field, which is nice. Obviously, home field advantage in college baseball is massive. But the bats have to wake up. The bats have not been great lately. That is one of the most alarming things I think about OU right now. They have a lot of talented hitters between Brendan Brock, Jackson Willits, Jason Walk, but they haven't been great. Part of that, obviously, due to some really good pitchers on the other side, but it doesn't get much easier against a team like Alabama. So that's got to change for OU to get back into the win column this weekend.
All right, where do you feel like that Oklahoma could potentially have the advantage over Alabama if there is one?
Yeah, I think if both of the starting pitchers on Thursday and Friday of this series, LJ Mercurius, Cameron Johnson, we've seen what they can do at their best. They can be among the best pitchers in this conference, but it hasn't really fallen on the same weekend that both of them are just great so far. But if it does, that could be scary. Both of them are very capable of pitching in the high 90s, striking out a lot of batters, holding good offenses to low scores. So if both of them can turn in good outings on back-to-back nights, I mean, that's not easy to hit around.
Right.
That would be big. And just kind of give the Sooners kind of an advantage they haven't had because, like I said, the consistency hasn't necessarily been there for those two guys, but at its best, those guys can be really good.
All right. Oklahoma takes the series from Alabama if what happens?
If the Sooners can hit a lot of home runs, that, like I said, was absent against the Longhorns. It showed up in phases against Texas A&M. Didn't really happen against LSU either, but Brendan Brock, you see the bat that he has in the midweek game against Oral Roberts on Tuesday. He hit a moonshot. He's a very good hitter. Definitely when he is in the zone, one of the better hitters in this league. So if he can get some damage done, Camden Johnson, Jason Walk, there is a lot of power just naturally in this lineup, even if it hasn't been evident lately. I think that could be something that just kind of gives them an edge against what is, like you said, a really good Alabama team.
All right, how do you see it playing out? Alabama red hot, Oklahoma kind of limping a little bit after their sweep of the Longhorns in a loss. How do you see it Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Who leaves Norman with the series win?
I think I'm going to go with Alabama 2-1. I think OU steals a game. I think LJ Mercurius has a really good bounce back, assuming he is the Thursday night starter this week. He is, like I said, really good when he is in the zone. That obviously was not the case against Texas last Thursday. I think maybe they get out to a game 1 win, and then Bama, just with how consistent they've been in the last few weeks, sweeping Auburn, sweeping Florida. They, like I said, are playing some really good baseball right now. And I don't think it's a disastrous result for OU to take one of the 3 games against a team as good as Alabama. But they really got to avoid the sweep. That's the big thing. You can't get swept back-to-back weeks in what is a really competitive conference.
Right.
It's crazy seeing them drop from, I believe it was a 7-way tie for first place to now they're tied for 9th place after the sweep last week. And so getting one, if they could get 2 wins, great, but getting at least 1 win would be massive for this team.
Okay, now let's switch sports because everybody down in Auburn, Alabama are doing the moniker of we're the only SEC basketball team still playing. We're the ones, and we're in the NIT in the Final Four. Hold up just a minute. Oklahoma, you guys are about to tip off tonight in Vegas in a new tournament that is called the Crown. Talk about the season so far for the Oklahoma Sooners in basketball and preview the matchup tonight in the first round of the Crown versus Colorado, please.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually wrote a preview story this morning that singled that fact out. There are only 2 teams still left from the SEC playing basketball, one being OU, one being Auburn. Auburn does not have that designation as the only team, though, like you said. At one point, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Porter Moser would be gone after the season. They lost 9 games in a row from January 7th to February 7th. And things just were unraveling. They were inventing new ways to losing a couple to Mississippi State, South Carolina, 2 of the teams that did not have great seasons from the conference. But they really woke up to end the year. Porter Moser essentially coached his way into another year, taking down teams like Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, won a game against A&M in the conference tournament. Fell just short. I believe they were the first team out of the field of 68 for the NCAA tournament. But I do like that they're still playing basketball. A lot of teams, when given the opportunity for a secondary tournament or just ending the season, just choose, we don't want to play anymore. We didn't make it. We're too good for this. I like that OU and Auburn, for that matter, chose to prolong the seasons to get a little more experience with the guys that will presumably come back next year, play against a Colorado team that also didn't have just an amazing season, but well coached with a guy like Tad Boyle. He's been there since 2010. Also playing the Big 12, which definitely stronger at the top than a conference like the SEC, maybe not as deep, but Colorado is a solid team. I think more than anything, it's just, like I said, an opportunity for this team to kind of build a foundation going into next year.
All right, and so Oklahoma or Colorado, who do you have round 1 tonight at 7 p.m. in Vegas?
Yeah, I've got the Sooners in this one. I think OU was playing – they were playing like a top 3 or 4 team in the conference to end the season, but you can't erase a 9-game losing streak. I don't really see any qualms with how the selection committee chose the teams for the field. A 7-11 conference record shouldn't get you in. But that said, this team is playing good basketball. Guys like Nigel Pack, Muhammad Wagi will be playing their last games at the Crown. So just kind of something they have a lot to play for, just knowing this is the last, at least at the college level, opportunity to play basketball with their teammates. It's not like they're going into this on a losing streak. This team was playing, like I said, great basketball to end the year. I think they at the very least beat Colorado and have a good chance against whether that's Minnesota or Baylor in the next round.
All right, and things right now that are kind of going under the rug a little bit and kind of flying by without many people talking about it. Spring football. Now, last year going into the season, everybody talked about Brent Venables being on the hot seat. I don't think that's an issue now with them getting a home playoff game and knocking off Alabama in the regular season. What can you tell us so far looking ahead to the 2026 season for the Oklahoma Sooners, especially here with spring ball just now kicking off?
Yeah, it feels weird to be back out there a little bit sunburnt from the last few days of being at practice, but it's exciting. Like you said, Brent Venables really, his seat's cooled down significantly. Was a great season. The defense was among the nation's best, and it should be really good again. Offensively, obviously, we saw John Mateer's production take a big dip in the back half of last season. partially because of the hand injury, partially because really there wasn't a whole lot of consistency across the board with that unit. The offense should be a lot better. The defense might take a slight step back this year, but you would think they should be, especially with a guy like Brent Venables leading the unit, should be really good again. That said, the schedule's tough. You could argue this is a tougher schedule than it was last year, going to Georgia, to Michigan, the annual game against Texas, home games against A&M and Ole Miss, two playoff teams last year, on the road against Missouri. So, I mean, they've got, I think I said this on our Sooners on SI podcast last week, they're going to have to be better than they were in 2025 to make the playoff again in 2026. That's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Well-coached team. Mateer should absolutely be more healthy and a better quarterback this year. But they've got to get better. That's just the state of the SEC. You're seeing teams that traditionally maybe haven't lived up to their expectations, like Texas when they were in the Big 12, Texas A&M with the resources they have, Ole Miss coming out of nowhere and making the semifinals last year. This conference, there are probably 8-9 teams that can realistically make the playoff this year. So OU's got to keep getting better. Last year, making the playoff, simply hosting in the first round, that can't be the standard. It's got to be more than that to just turn this into something, turn OU what it used to be into this national championship contender.
All right. And finally, with Oklahoma and football, in your opinion, if Oklahoma and Brent Venables is going to take the next step and continue evolving in the crazy, wild college football, what is one thing that Oklahoma must do to advance and take the next step?
I think production out of the receiving and tight end rooms, I think that's the big thing. Help John Mateer out a little bit. I am not one of those people that thinks John Mateer, when fully healthy, is not a very good quarterback. We saw what he could do early in the season in games against Michigan, Auburn last year. He made some really electric throws, kind of mimicking what Baker Mayfield used to do. At his best, John Mateer can be great, but he's also got to be helped out. Isaiah Satania was a big breakout guy for them last year. Now they have Parker Livingstone. They have Terrell Harris. That receiver room should be better. The tight end room certainly should be a lot better, with Jason Witten now leading the position group, a lot of transfers like Hayden Hansen, Rocky Beers. It just looks like a bigger, faster, stronger position than it was last year. So if those things can really create a cohesive unit, I think they can be a much better offense, a more consistent offense. The line should be a lot better than it was last year too. So assuming those things can happen, I think that's what leads to the next step for Oklahoma football.
Carson, thank you as always for joining us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully Oklahoma basketball can go really far in the crown, and SEC baseball, of course, is just starting. And hopefully we can catch up with you during the remainder of the season, and especially before Hoover, to get your take on the Sooners as they travel to the SEC tournament.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Stingray. This has been a lot of fun.
And hey, I will leave you with this. Boomer Sooner, let's go, my friend.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right. So, guys, that is going to wrap up Boomer Sooner, and two sports that are on the men's side is still playing. You've got SEC baseball playing Alabama this weekend, and you've got SEC basketball tonight. They are still in the college basketball in the crown there in Vegas as they take on Oklahoma. And I'm sorry, they take on Colorado. And Colorado is a familiar foe because Colorado was one of the original members of the Big 12 Conference back when Oklahoma was there. So, guys, we are going to transition now to the Alabama Crimson Tide and talk about them on the other side of these advertisers, from our wonderful advertisers that are partners with the Stingray Show. It's a new year, and now is the best time to review your insurance policies. With a helpful customer service team here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi, For all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha Insurance to create a customized plan to protect your family's home and autos. You can stop by his office at 3428 McFarland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or simply call 205-462-8192, or call the number on your screen right there. And remember, with Alpha Insurance, the more you protect it, the more you save. Reach out to the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha today for all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. I tell people when they come in, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. We've got the capability to process it, make it. If you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do you a brisket blend. We'll do you a chuck blend. We'll do you a sirloin blend. We do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. That's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. People call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show. So guys, really do want to thank all of our wonderful advertisers right there. And I do want to also say to everybody watching and listening out there, happy April and happy April Fools. And I got to tell you what, April Fools is not starting off well this year for my co-host Heath Hopkins. He completely missed the entire Oklahoma segment. He is now backstage and he is about to join us right now. Better late than never, my friend. But thank you for joining us. And I tell you what, April Fools is not doing you well.
I thought it was a joke this morning when my wife was telling me she was having car problems. Like, I'm not falling for this. I'm not going to fall for this. She was having car problems. So
no, this is serious now. Come on.
I don't think it's anything major. We don't have car problems.
Mm-hmm.
I purposely buy vehicles that are low maintenance and don't have car problems. And but just like everything on this earth, it happens, and it happens to all of us. But yeah, I'm hoping it's a small fuse issue.
Right.
But it's making this whiny sound, and the air condition won't stay on, and we're a family of 6, and it's her car, and that's what we all pile in, and we're going to go see her family here this weekend, and we're going to be in the car for 3 hours. I will need air condition.
Duh, yeah. And
actually, it wouldn't bother me, but it would bother everybody else in the car.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I could ride 3 hours in the car with the windows down. I'd be perfectly fine and happy. With a big smile on my face. But the rest of my crew, not so much.
Heath, we will get back to doing that and talking about other stuff right after this. We are about to be joined and transition into Alabama athletics, talking about Alabama baseball, Alabama basketball, and any news about Alabama football with Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. He is back with them, writing pieces and articles for them in the opinionated side of things. Stephen, how are things with you this morning in Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Doing good, guys. How you feeling?
Man, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man. I got some time here to pull away here, but happy to be a part of this, man. It's so different. Year 3 under Kagan DeBoer, another year under Rob Vaughn, baseball coach right there, and then Nate Oates. As much as you want the Final Four, you get bumped out in the Sweet 16. So some work that he's got to do.
Yes.
Stephen, fun question. I said this on the show earlier this week, but fun question. Alabama basketball had more drama than your mom's, your grandma's, and your aunt's favorite soap opera this year. True or false?
True.
Yeah,
a lot of drama,
true.
and the fact that it got the icing was Aiden Holloway. Like, why do you do that? And of course, there's still the investigation and things being picked up on, and you don't get to play in the tournament, and the team needed you there, and you fall short to a very good Michigan team in the Sweet 16. It was a lot of drama there where the basketball team is concerned. It just speaks to how well Nate Oates held that together, and the players held that together to even make a little bit of a run in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So, Stephen, briefly, before we dive into baseball, any news on spring football for Alabama and Kalen DeBoer as they have opened practice to start with spring football?
Some things, when you look at the offensive line, some interesting pieces right there. You got Michael Carroll, who's the only guy returning with deep experience here on this group. Played in 14 games last year, 6 starts between right guard and right tackle. He's a guy that's very position flexibility. Ryan Grubb named Jackson Lloyd, the redshirt freshman, as the starting left tackle, but there's still some mix and matching being done there with Nick Brooks, the transfer from Texas, coming in. I mean, you got Javen James, the transfer from Mississippi State, that gave up only 3 sacks last year. He's getting working at right tackle. So right now, the only 2 guys or the only 2 to 3 guys Rayson Delgado at center, the transfer from Cal Poly, is going to have his role. Michael Carroll is going to start, whether it's right guard or right tackle. Jackson Lloyd is going to be in that left tackle spot. The other areas that will be interesting when you look at the competition that's being brought. New offensive line coach Adrian Clem, he's starting to get some things figured out.
All right, so now let's go to arguably the hottest team on campus right now, and that would be Alabama baseball, because they are coming off of 2 series wins and sweeps of Florida and Auburn. Talk about Alabama baseball and where they stand right now with Rob Vaughn, please.
I'm first off, I'm proud of Coach Vaughn and the balance we've created, not just in pitching, not just in starting pitch and rotation pitching, but we're getting situational hitting. That was an area of concern for me when you look at Alabama. Situational hitting. We have guys that can set the table. Our first 2 bats in the lineup. We have guys that can drive and runs. We got some power in this lineup. And I'm proud of that. We've recruited power. The power starting to come through, but the table setters, the guys that can get on base and put pressure on the opposing pitching and on the opposing defense. And Rob Vaughn is a guy that he wants to speed game. He wants to steal bases. He wants to run. He wants to get up on you early. He wants to create that tension for the opposition early. And he did that in these previous 2 series, is getting on top of opposition early, driving and run, setting the table up. Very proud of Coach Vaughn and putting his foot to the pedal.
And I've got to ask you, because we were not able to connect last week talk about the absolutely incredible performance of the no-hitter on the Friday night against the Florida Gators. The first time Alabama had done that in 42 seasons. Talk about that incredible feat there on that Friday night of the Florida series.
I mean, it was any time you can throw a no-hitter, it's special. It doesn't matter if it's on the high school level, the pro level, the pee-wee level, the college level. When you can throw a no-hitter and control the game, like I equate pitching in baseball to being a linebacker in football. You control everything. Pitching in baseball, more importantly, because everything comes through you. You control the whole game from that circle. Whether you're giving the fastball, whether you're giving the curve, the slider, the changeup, whatever you got in the tank there, you are controlling the whole pace and the whole flow and the whole demeanor of a game. And to go out there and for the first time in 42 years shut down Florida, a team that came in as one of the best hitting teams in the SEC, and you shut down that lineup, and you shut it down with ease, relatively. Once again, this goes back to not just the recruiting of Rob Vaughn, but the talent he's bringing in and the specialists he's bringing in at various positions. He's bringing in ace pitching, guys that can start. He's bringing in ace guys in the bullpen, guys that can give those starters a rest. He's bringing in guys that can close the end of games. Like, the guy is getting it from the sense of, I got to make Sewell Thomas Stadium a tough environment to play in. Rob Vaughn is doing that.
Yes.
Looking at this Alabama lineup, we're talking about the pitching. What in this lineup stands out for you? I mean, I'm not going to say they're the worst team in the SEC. They're clearly not. But they're not overpowering small ball. They're not overpowering with home runs. They're not overpowering in doubles or triples. But it's a consistent lineup. Talk about this lineup. And heaven forbid if you know the approach at the plate of what they're doing.
Well, Heath, because you talk about the consistency, as much as you want to have a long ball, right, and you want to have a lot of doubles and triples, my thing is it's situational baseball, right? And I think that's the biggest thing where this team, this program has improved on. You got runners in scoring position. How do you get them home? Do you choose singling up the middle? Do you choose sacrifice? Do you choose a sacrifice fly out to get the run the tag up from third and score? How do I put runs on the board? That's the big thing. I go back to the base running. You get on first base. Do you trust yourself with the speed to get the green light to go take and steal second base and get the right jump? See, these are things that Bama had issues with in the past. I get on base. I don't have the strong base running prowess to steal a base, put myself in scoring position, put the pressure on the opposing coaching staff, and give my next guy coming to the plate an opportunity to think. I can go alpo with this. I can go up the middle with this. I can go to the gap with this. Any type of way to move the runner up 90 feet with a chance to score. It doesn't have to be overpowering long ball. It doesn't have to be doubles and triples off a time. If you can get them, get them. But the main thing that I'm proud of this program on, get the runs home.
Yes. So, Stephen, going into the matchup this weekend, they are coming in red hot. They now go to Oklahoma and Norman. Oklahoma is reeling a little bit after dropping a sweep of Texas this past weekend. Break down the matchup of Alabama and Oklahoma as you see it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, please.
Huge series right here. I mean, Stingray, huge series. And I know Oklahoma's been reeling a bit, but in the SEC, you know it's a battle. Oklahoma's going to look to get back into the winning column here. The biggest thing for Alabama, get through the first 4 or 5 innings pitching. Get you a good, strong 6 innings out there. Whether it's you're controlling it with the strikeout game or the ground ball game, preferably the ground ball game. Get you some induced ground balls, turn you some double plays in there, but get on top early in the pitching game. My number one thing I want to see here, Heath, you mentioned it, will the long ball become effective in this series? Can it become a factor? Can you take Oklahoma out the game with a few home runs early? And I'm not talking about the solo shots that you can get them, but get some 2-run homers in there. Get some guys on base and really do some damage early. That's what my eyeballs will be on. Can you get the long ball going with runners on base? But more importantly, can you get the confidence out of Oklahoma by controlling their bats through those first 4 to 5 innings?
Yes.
Steven,
So-
looking at the bullpen real quick, you're talking about getting through the first few innings there. You know, either you got one or you don't. Just about every team in the SEC has one, but if you got one, how deep is it? That's the secret of winning these series, is how deep is your bullpen, because you can have the best Friday night starter in the league. You don't have a bullpen, you're losing Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So with that, sometimes you lose Friday night as well. So with that, talk about Alabama's bullpen. How deep is it? How far can it go?
It's deep here. It's deep here. If you talk about 5 to 6 pitchers deep, it's about 5 to 6 pitchers deep. It can go. The number one thing for the bullpen is going to be having your best stuff, right? Because when the starter comes out, you got to have your best stuff. So when they come in, whether your best stuff is getting with the biting slider, getting them with the offset curve, having that drop change, blowing the fastball by, where you have that split, sinker ball pitch, whatever you got there that can get ahead early, right? Because the main thing for Oklahoma is going to be if they can't get after the starter, once the starter comes out, they want to see, can I attack the bullpen guy? Can I get a read on what he's pitching? Can I get a jump on how is he going to be throwing to me? So for Alabama, it has the depth, but the question is, Heath, when they come out of that bullpen, do you have the stuff going early to continue what the starter's already done?
Yes. So, Stephen, my final question for you is going back to Alabama football. Now, last year, Alabama lost to Oklahoma for homecoming. They got in the playoffs still, beat Oklahoma, but then had a very bad taste in their mouth, losing the Rose Bowl matchup to Indiana by being blown out. You are around the program now. Tell us how much pressure is on Kalen DeBoer and this football team going into the 2026 season, even though they made the playoffs last year, but getting blown out the way they did by Indiana.
It's big pressure because it's year 3 for Kalen DeBoer, right? Year 3, you are expecting to understand where are we as a program. Not just the blown out loss to Indiana, but the way you lost to Indiana, the way you lost to Oklahoma, the way you lost to Florida State, the way you lost to Georgia. In those matchups, you did not look competitive. In that matchup, you got out physical. You got bullied off the ball. You looked like at times you didn't want to be there, right? That's going to be a big thing this year, point of emphasis. The effort and the energy to want to be there, to want to be consistent, and to want to play your best football. And for Kalen DeBoer, the Alabama fans are still looking at him as if to say, was he the right answer? Right. Was he the right answer to follow behind one of one, that being Nick Saban? So it's big pressure for DeBoer to prove, yes, I was the right answer. Yes, I was the right choice. Yes, I was the right decision made by Greg Burns. So it's big pressure here on DeBoer.
Stephen, how do you think it plays out? Do you ultimately think he was the right choice at the time to replace Coach Saban?
I think he was. And I think what people fail to realize is, look, you're never going to have another Nick Saban. Nick Saban could come back out of retirement and he wouldn't even be the same Nick Saban. You're never going to have that run ever again. I mean, Kirby Smart can try. He's not going to do it. Dabo Swinney can try. He's not going to do it. Ryan Day can try. I don't even know if he's going to be able to do it. I don't think he would either. So you can't sit there and make the comparison to one of one. That's like people that say LeBron and Michael Jordan. Those are two different eras, people. Right. LeBron will not be Michael Jordan. I mean, so it's the same thing here when you look at Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer. DeBoer will not be Coach Saban. what DeBoer was the right decision. He's got 2 recruiting classes in here now. He's got all of his guys in here now. Now we're about to see the offense that he had at Washington, and we bring to Tuscaloosa. We're now going to get a first-eye look at that. Kane Womack has been passionate and adamant about being elite on defense in every sense of the word. We're going to get to see that into fruition. So I'm looking forward to, in year 3, Kane and DeBoer showing everybody. I know I'm not Nick Saban, but I'm Kane and DeBoer, and watch this.
Yeah. Yes.
A couple of things I want to throw at you, Stephen, is, and I agree with everything you said, Nick Saban's not coming through that door, and if he did, it's not going to be the same Nick Saban. You can't replace the greatest of all time with another greatest of all time. It's not going to happen. It's clearly not going to happen. And Justin chiming in. Thank you, Justin Raleigh.
Thank you.
And I agree with kind of a little bit what Justin says there. But here's the one thing I want to point out to you, Stephen, is I think Alabama made the right hire.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm concerned about with Alabama, and I think they are lacking tremendously, not a little bit, but tremendously in this area, is when Nick Saban was head coach and NIL started coming in, there were kids that were being offered money, but they would turn it down to come play for Nick Saban. Because Nick Saban would play that card on them like, hey, you can go take this money. You can go take this whatever they're offering you, or you can come here and learn from me, and I'll get you in the NFL, and you'll be making a whole lot more money than whatever money they're offering you. And no coach can pull that off. There's not another coach in America that can pull that off. And Lane Kiffin is over here playing with around $40 or $50 million in NIL. And they've got a billionaire tech alum at LSU that gave over $80 million last year to NIL. It was rumored it was like $86 to $88 million just for NIL. Just for NIL. And Alabama fans are behind the curve. Alabama boosters are way behind the curve. They need $40-something million every single year to compete, and they're not getting that. And so that's my concern. It's not on the coaches. It is on the Alabama fans. It is on the boosters. And if you don't like going 9-3, open up the pocketbook, pal. Go cry to the bank. I don't want to hear it. That's where I think. How far is Alabama behind LSU when it comes to $40+ million, $50 million in NIL? How far behind are they?
They are quite behind, Heath. And here's the problem. The problem is for the Alabama boosters and everything out there. It's we still want to hold the traditional purist values. The game changed.
Loss. Go to the Liberty Bowl if you're lucky.
Right. The game's changed. I mean, people were paying. You were getting paid under the table prior to then. Now it's legal. So now that it's legal, go out there and pay these guys. If you want to win now, you got to open the money up. If you
don't have to open up. You have to open up a lot.
I'm saying you got to open up. That's right. You have to open it up a lot to win now. You seriously have to open up a lot to win now. I mean, Alabama recently just had one of its players from last year who played quite a bit last year, and James Smith from the state of Alabama. He, in his first media viewing with Ohio State, the reporters asked him, why Ohio State over Alabama? And yes, he mentioned how intense Ohio State is, but we all know why. Ohio State opened up the money. And Ohio State said, hey, come up here to the Horseshoe. Leave your home, come to the Horseshoe, and come play here. And what does James Smith do? Hey, I will leave my home and I'll go up here to the Horseshoe. So Alabama boosters, donors, they all know money is the thing. And I'm pretty sure Greg Byrne has got on everybody. You want us to win? Pay. You want us to be the best? Pay. I'm pretty sure Greg Byrne has gotten on the Tide Pride ticket holders. You want to see a proud product on the field? Pay the money to get you a proud product. So Greg Byrne has done everything he needs to do. The donors know what they need to do. It's the simple fact of do it. Do you want a product to be happy about? do the necessary thing. Pay the money, and you can have a happy product. But if you don't pay the money, you're sitting here sulking, and it's your own fault.
I'm going to piggyback real quick on this. The great Timothy Richard Tebow, Timmy Tebow, little Timmy Dynamite. Tim Tebow even said it himself. And look, you can agree with what Tim believes. You don't have to agree with what Tim believes, but I think we'll all agree about the character of Tim Tebow on this statement that he made. He goes, if NIL was around, I probably wouldn't have chosen Florida. I would have chosen the school that would have paid me the most money.
Right.
That blew my mind. I was like, wow. Timmy Tebow's parents went to Florida. He grew up a Gator fan, this and that. But here he is, one Timothy Richard Tebow, St. Timothy himself. And Timmy Tebow said, I would have gone to the school that paid me the most money.
The football version of the Apostle Paul, just said he would go to the school that would pay him the most money. And this is the football version of St. Paul here, y'all saying this.
Yeah.
Could you imagine back in the day, Jay Barker transferring out, being the undefeated quarterback that he was and the giant that he was, like, hey, you know what? Texas is going to pay me a little bit more money. USC is ponying up. I think I want to go hang out on the West Coast. Could you imagine the meltdown that would have happened in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah.
If a guy like Jay Barker said that? What if Greg McElroy said, hey, you know what? Well, I was about to say Clemson. That's a joke, right? But what if Clemson came up and said they're going to pay money? Or what if Florida State said, hey, why don't you come down here? There's less pressure. There's more parties. And we'll win just as much. We're just missing a quarterback. What about Miami comes in like, hey, let's go have the time of your life? Well, this is where we're at now. This is what we're dealing with. And don't sit there and like, no, they love the school. No, they don't. They love money. Just the same reason you took another job somewhere else. It was for what? More money.
Yep. And Heath, we lost Stephen M. Hopefully he will join us again, join back. I'm sure he probably either got a call or he lost battery and his battery went out. But Heath, think about this. Right now at Alabama, when you had Nick Saban and you didn't have the NIL situation, what was going on at Alabama under Nick Saban? Alabama was only dominant in one sport, football. Now that Saban is gone, the boosters are also ponying up a little bit for Nate Oates and that basketball program. That's going to be hurting football as well because they want to see Alabama eventually get to the championship game in the NCAA tournament. So they've got another issue on the football side. It's because now you've got Nate Oates sitting there going, hey, we want a little bit of the pie too, because look what we've built at Coleman and in our basketball program.
Stephen, I don't know if I've ever shared this story on the show. I might have. I'm sure I've had over the last 6 years. But here's one thing that a lot of people are missing. When you look at Nick Saban and he comes to your school, your baseball program tanks.
And
a
football,
lot of other programs,
and basketball and everything else, because it's all about give the money to me. Me.
Yeah, and you can blame Smoke LaValle at LSU taking over for Skip Bertman, but Nick Saban came in and was taking money away. And Nick Saban and Skip Bertman did not have the best working relationship because Nick Saban was very clear and very adamant. I'm taking the money. He is competing inside the walls of your university, stealing money from all the other programs. And I got firsthand proof of this. I was a student. Mississippi State was playing LSU. It was the start of Mardi Gras. Saban had just come in. There was nobody at this LSU game in the PMAC. I mean, there was nobody there. And we went down and sat like mid-court, like just 2 or 3 rows up because there was no one there.
Right.
And Nick Saban was there. John Brady even came to the stands and shook hands with us. We told John Brady that story when he was on our show. But Nick Saban was in the stands talking to these boosters. He was sitting behind me talking to two gentlemen, and he was just like, he goes, I don't need you to donate to that. I need you to donate to football. He goes, if you want us to win at a high level, and you told me you would like to see us to win a national title, this is what it's going to take. You've got to send that money to me. We've got to have it for football.
Yes.
And so he's taken money away from other programs, from LSU when he was the head coach at LSU. And what did he do? He won a national title. And what did baseball do? It tanked. Hey, Alabama baseball was performing high before Nick Saban got to Alabama. And when he got to Alabama, what did Alabama baseball do? Tanked.
Yep.
And tanked quickly. And so, and that's what you're looking at. And so, to talk about Stephen M. Smith and what you were saying, Stephen, it was just one sport. It was football.
Yep.
And now
it's
basketball's doing good. Softball's doing good. Baseball has finally come back. Isn't that funny? Nick Saban goes away and baseball magically pops back. They are ascending.
Yes.
And so that's where we are now. Yep. And so, look, it's multiple problems for Alabama.
Right.
But these aren't problems they can't overcome.
They're good problems, but if you want football, you got to pony up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and it's sad that we're here now, but you could take a 2-year starter, whatever team you think is the most passionate, other than your school that you cheer for at the SEC. I think Arkansas fans are the most passionate.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are the most dedicated. I really do. But you could take a 2-year starter at Arkansas, and if Tennessee offers him, $200 more $1,000, $75,000 more dollars, $75,000 more dollars.
Yeah,
$75,000. Some of y'all don't even make $75,000. Hey, you're going to leave the school,
right,
for $75,000. I was like, we're already paying him $1.5 million. Well, they're paying him $1.5 million plus $75,000 more.
And Heath, it's a sad situation, but this is where we are in the world of sports, and we see this all across, not just in football, basketball, baseball, you name it. Well, they're only coming, and we want them to come to the University of Alabama because of the storied tradition of being an Alabama Crimson Tide guy. Well, nope, I'm sorry. The NIL has completely shot that down completely, and now it is all about the greenback and the green of money.
Yeah, and I'll also reverse it too. NIL is not completely the player's fault.
Right.
There are guys that get paid money and they don't perform, and the school's like, get your crap and get the freak out of here.
Right.
Make like a tree and leave.
Yes.
Make like a tree and get out of here, as Biff Tannen would say from Back to the Future. And that's the thing. The schools are not loyal to these kids. So don't you dare ask a student or an athlete to be loyal to the school.
Yeah.
When you're not loyal to them, when you're telling kids, his teammates, his best bud in the locker room or his roommate, yeah, you're not cutting it. Get out. We're not paying you anymore. Like, hey, that's my best friend. That's my roommate. I got to find a new roommate now. No, I don't care. He's not doing anything. Like, yeah, so this is a two-way street. This is a two-way highway. And you can go fast and you can crash. But it goes both ways, man.
Yes.
The school's not loyal. The player's not loyal. And we've known that the coaches haven't been loyal forever. We've known that for a super long time. So that's where we are. That's where we are. And Stephen, I didn't like this at first. I thought it was a fun idea, but I didn't really like it. But the more the conversation comes up and the more you start pandering it and the more you start thinking about it, the late Mike Leach, the Pirate himself, was 100% correct on this. He goes, we're going to have to institute a draft, just like the NFL. And the team that finished last gets to pick first. Like, the kids could say, hey, I want to play in the SEC. And we have this draft, and we let student athletes know ahead of time. And the student athlete gets to let the school know, I'm coming to be a student athlete or I'm coming to play football. The student athlete, you can't cut. You can't cut, but he can't get any NIL money. But you could give him a scholarship. It's good for 5 years. And he comes and get his degree. Once he graduates, he could transfer if he wants to. But that's the one thing there. Or, hey, I want to go the NIL route. I want to get paid. And if that's the case, you go in the draft. You don't get to pick where you go to school because you're going to the highest bidder anyway.
All right.
It really is the NFL all over again. You have to do it.
Heath, are you ready to transition into the post show?
Oh, I'm always ready for the post show.
Okay. All right. So, guys, we are going to finish up with the National Day, birthdays, deaths, and history right after this. Jeff Bagwell of Honey Hole Fisheries right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama is a professional biologist who specializes in lake management. If you are interested in helping build the pond or lake of your dreams, or if you need help deciding if property you own is a good location to build a pond, you can contact Jeff Bagwell at 205-799-0192. Once again, that is Jeff Bagwell and Honey Hole Fisheries at 205-799-0192. Contact him today and let him help you build the lake or pond of your dreams, or also stock your pond or lake with fish that you most desperately need. All right, and Heath, with that, welcome in to the post show, as today is April the 1st, April Fool's Day, and you already got fooled, or thought you were getting fooled earlier.
I wish I was fooled.
I know.
Who likes paying? Like, I'm not knocking mechanics. God bless mechanics. We need mechanics. They are a vital part of our society, but I don't think anyone likes paying the mechanic, because usually that's not cheap, and you're out of a vehicle and things are just crazy. Yeah. And that's where we are right now. And I know I got a pony up here shortly.
Heath, National Day of today, one food item. Today is National Sourdough Bread Day.
Why would the sourdough people pick April Fools?
No idea.
I don't know why anybody would pick April Fools unless it was supposed to be funny or a joke.
Right.
Like if you told me today is Lego Bread Day. Okay, that's funny because, Legos don't make bread. Got it. April Fools. Okay, it's not funny, but whatever. Yeah, I see you trying to be cute. But yeah, why would you pick April 1st? April 2nd? Yeah, sourdough bread day. Yeah, I'm down. But April 1st? Come on, man.
Yeah. All right. It is also National Day of something that is no longer in circulation. Today is National 1 Cent Day.
Sad.
Sad.
I
know. So there we go. All right. Heath, can you tell me, now moving to the national history, can you tell me, I'm just going to go ahead and read this one so we can move through this one quickly. In Cincinnati, in 1853, Cincinnati becomes the first city to fully employ professional firefighters.
Cincinnati was, really?
Yes.
I would have guessed New York or Boston. I would have not, and probably Chicago third. I would have never guessed Cincinnati. Look at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The Queen City.
All right.
Okay. There you go. Steven, I got to ask.
Okay.
Was there a favorite firefighting show or movie that you liked, watched, got into?
Mm-mm.
So you weren't into Backdraft or, whatever that show is with, what's his face? I see his face. He's from Boston. Smokes all the time. Comedian.
Rob White.
No. The sing the A-hole song. Oh my gosh. Why can't I, if y'all know who I'm talking about, chime in. I see his face, man. He's big into hockey. He's a Boston guy.
I don't know.
Man. Anyway, he had a show about firefighters.
Okay.
But yeah, so no firefighting shows, nothing.
No.
Okay, all right.
Now, what happened April the 1st of 1954? Congress establishes and authorizes the construction of what?
I have no idea.
The U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Students actually were recruited and accepted in 1 year later in 55. So, the Air Force Academy with the lightning bolts on the helmets was officially established in 54 and began teaching students in 55.
If you have a degree from the Air Force Academy, it is like Ivy League diploma.
Yeah.
Like if you on your resume it says you graduated from the Air Force Academy, you've got the job.
Yeah.
Stephen, I learned this when I was at the bank. I dealt with a customer. He was some kind of engineer professor out at the Air Force Academy. He grew up in the Memphis area. His parents were still here. One of his parents had passed away, and he was just kind of taking care of everything. He was in charge of and executing the will and things. And so he'd call me from Colorado Springs from time to time because I was trying to save him as much as I could on a trip. I was like, hey, we got to have paperwork for this. You got to be in front of me to do this. But we would work all that out on the phone. And so I would, especially do that for him. But I got to ask him about the Air Force Academy and the kids getting in and this and that. He loves teaching there. He said everyone's tuned in, everyone is this and that, and I was so impressed with it. But for the high school student out there that has dreams and aspirations to go to the Air Force Academy, you have to take a certain calculus in high school. And sometimes high schools only offer one calculus, and you can make an A in it, and the Air Force Academy will not accept you. You could be valedictorian of your class, and they will not accept. You have to have a certain calculus right. It's got to be, I don't know what it is, but you need to check on that. So,
right.
Anybody who wants to do the Air Force Academy are talking about it, are thinking about it. Not only do they have to take calculus, it has to be a certain calculus, and a lot of schools do not offer it. And that just immediately eliminates you from even being in contention of being thought of or being, a contender of getting in. If you don't have it, you are no longer considered and your resume is gone. So if you know anyone wanting to go, make sure they're taking the right calculus.
All right. Heath, can you tell me what major daytime drama debuts on ABC on this day in 63? And I do believe it is still running today.
It was on ABC in 63. What kind of show is it?
It is a drama.
What's that show? General Hospital? Yeah. I never watched General Hospital.
Debuted on this day in 1963. It is the longest running American soap opera in production, and the romance between Luke Spencer and Laura Webster became the most popular storyline in soap opera history. And in 1981, the two-part Luke and Laura wedding was watched by over 30 million viewers.
I never watched General Hospital. I don't know a thing about General Hospital. I did know about the Luke and Laura wedding because I remember everyone talking about it, and I was like, okay, I was a kid, like, okay, whatever. It's like fake people on a show getting married.
Right.
Cool, whatever. So yeah, I didn't care one jack diddly poo squat about it. But I do know this, and I can thank VH1. I love the 80s. Do you remember that? Did you ever watch that? Um, VH1, I love the 80s. Talked about Luke and Laura. Do you know how that relationship started? Uh, it started with Luke having his way with Laura unlawfully. Yeah, it started with a rape.
Oh,
Yeah, and then the storyline over the years developed, and it turned in. I'm like, what? So only in soap opera world
yeah.
would this ever happen. But I was like, oh, what? How did that happen? Like, what?
Right.
What? Like, so yeah, I was totally blown away and shocked by that. I was like, I didn't get that. But yeah, Luke and Laura, feel free to Google it and look it up. But yeah, they talked about that on VH1. I love the 80s. I was like, that's messed up. That's really messed up. So yeah, there you go, Stephen. It's only in soap opera world can that happen.
happened. Yep. All right. Now, what major car is released and debuted on this day in 1964, and it was made by Plymouth?
The Roadrunner? No, the GTO. Chevy's a Camaro. Ford's a Mustang. Is it a muscle car?
It's called a pony car.
Oh, what was made by Plymouth?
The Barracuda.
Wow, really?
The first pony car, April the 1st of 64. Plymouth debuts the Barracuda. It was a fastback coupe based on the Plymouth Valiant compact car. The term pony car was coined from Car Life magazine editor to describe a sporty compact car that typically had a long hood, a short deck, and an open mouth styling.
And there you go. I've seen, there's a local restaurant here in town, and during the warm months, spring and summer, they'll have car shows on the weekends, and sometime in the middle of the week during the summer. I can't remember what night, but it's always fun when you drive by there. We have to drive by there on the way home and see all those old cars out there. But one night we stopped for ice cream, and I was kind of looking at the cars, and I enjoy cars. I wouldn't consider myself a car guy, but I do want to say there was a gentleman out there that had a Barracuda. I was like, wow, look at that. So yeah, the Plymouth Barracuda, I would have never guessed that in 1,000 tries.
Yes. All right. Heath, let's move to 1966. Can you tell me what major famous popular song is released by Sam and Dave? And all of the boomers will get this one.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hold On, I'm Coming is released by Sam and Dave April the 1st of 66.
You know, Sam and Dave, man. Jimmy Buffett used to perform under the name Sam and Dave when he was a one-man band. After he'd been famous for a while, that was back in the 90s, early 2000s. Jimmy would go to random bars and restaurants and perform under Sam and Dave. But yeah, the great Sam and Dave, which always made me laugh because Van Halen had two lead singers named Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth, and they couldn't stand each other. And I have a playlist on my iTunes called Sam and Dave, and I alternate David Lee Roth songs and Sammy Hagar songs all the way through. Diamond Dave and the Red Rocker.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go, Sam and Dave, which David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar have nothing to do with Sam and Dave.
Now, Heath, this is sad. Very sad. Can you tell me who was shot and gunned down in 1984 on April the 1st He is a Grammy winner singer.
I'm sure I will know who this artist is, but it's not coming to mind. Do they happen to sing reggae at all?
I don't think so. Motown.
Who was it?
His hits included Ain't No Mountain High, Heard It Through the Grapevine, I Be Doggone, What's Going On, and Sexual Healing. Marvin Gaye is shot and killed by his father the day before his birthday. Marvin and his father became involved in a physical altercation after Marvin intervened in a fight between his parents. So on this day in 1984, we lost one Marvin Gaye.
I don't know the details of that story, but any married couple, anybody in a relationship for a while, cousins, brothers, siblings, you get to go into crazy town. You get to argue, and then you just get crazy raging mad about whatever you're going over. And you're in crazy town then. You're not in your right mind and this and that. And try to stay out of crazy town. And as soon as you know that you're in crazy town, get out as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Get out of crazy. It's not about being right. It's about getting out of crazy town. It's not proving your point. It's about getting out of crazy town. It's not about winning. It's about getting out of crazy town. You can solve the issue. No issue has ever been solved in crazy town.
Yeah.
And we get people shot like this. I don't know if there was drugs or alcohol, what the fight was about, money, whatever. I don't know, and I don't care. But I do know that no father wants to shoot his son.
Right.
And when you're in crazy town, you do crazy things, and you say crazy things, and crazy things happen.
Right.
And you try to out crazy each other. And get out of the cycle, get out of crazy town. So there's my marriage advice for the day. As soon as you know you're in crazy town, get out of crazy town immediately.
All right. Now, Heath, do you happen to know the major April Fool's joke that happened in 96? That was a major thing that actually went political.
Clinton's in office in 96.
This is pretty good.
Clinton's in office. An April Fool's joke. No, I don't remember this one. Well, I can't recall it. I might remember it after you tell me.
As part of an April Fool's Day joke, Taco Bell takes out an ad in 7 newspapers leading to an announcement that they had purchased the Liberty Bell, reduced the country's debt, and had renamed it Taco Liberty Bell. In response to public concerns, the White House press secretary, Mike McCurry, stated that the federal government was also selling the Lincoln Memorial to the Ford Motor Company and renaming it the Lincoln Mercury Memorial. The prank was successful, but it cost the U.S. $300,000, but it generated a sales increase exceeding $1 million in the first 2 days in April alone because of the free publicity for people going to see the Liberty Bell and the Lincoln Memorial.
Oh man, that's fun. I vaguely remember that. I don't remember the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
But I do remember the Taco Bell Liberty Bell thing.
Lincoln Mercury Memorial.
That's funny.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm okay with having fun on April Fool's Day. Listen. All right, Stephen. I am going to you know what? I'm going to make a comment. There is a wonderful phone number I found. Let's see. Instead of Hall Notes, it's Call Notes. And you can call this number and it will you get to choose a Hall Note song and it'll play it for you. It's like the most random thing ever. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be cute. It's supposed to be cheesy. But yeah, feel free to for the Hall Notes fan in your life or just some office prank. And let me get online. Let me copy the number real quick so I can post it.
Okay. Now, Heath, briefly, let's go to deaths before we go to the birthday, okay? Now, unfortunately, we lost this individual a year ago today. He was born in 1959. He is known for his films of Real Genius, Top Gun, Willow, and playing Jim Morrison in the documentary The Doors. Tombstone and Batman Forever. Who am I talking about?
Talk about Val Kilmer.
Yes.
Yeah, Val Kilmer, man. Did you ever watch that documentary?
On the Doors? No.
No, not on the Doors. It wasn't a documentary. That was actually a movie, but
okay.
But they did a documentary. Val Kilmer had all this home video footage of him over the years and over his career, and he was talking about all the things that he did in his life, and just kind of showed. And there was a situation with finances with his parents, his father and him, and
right.
He lost his money trying to help his parents, and he could have sued his father, but he chose not to, and things just kind of went crazy after that. But he did so many things. Val Kilmer, I didn't care for Val Kilmer much as a young guy, but the older I got, the more I kind of respected him a little bit more, because he excuse me, Stephen. He had a great life, but it was tough, and it was real tough toward the back of his life. The legal issues and financial issues with his parents,
right?
Then him getting cancer and having to deal with everything, and he was taking all kinds of gigs and things, trying to make some things happy. But Val Kilmer played some incredible roles,
right?
And he delivered on them.
So, in honor of Val Kilmer, Heath, what is your favorite Val movie?
It's got my favorite character of Val. It's probably Real Genius, and then Top Gun. But man, I'll be a Huckleberry. I mean, you just gotta love. You just gotta love him and Wyatt Earp. I mean, there's so many great movies. I mean, he was not a good Batman, but I enjoyed him as Batman. A lot of people bashed him. I didn't think he was that bad. I thought the movie and the writing was bad. I didn't think Val was bad. He had so many good movies, though, man. He made some legendary characters, but he played Mark Twain as a stand-up and made it like a traveling show. And Mark Twain, one of the funniest humans ever. Probably our first comedian that we ever had. But yeah, I mean, he just Val did a lot, and was he eccentric? Yeah. Was he out there? Yeah. But did he have a heart and he tried to do good things and leave people smiling? Yeah.
Heath, did you ever see the movie in '96 that he was in with Michael Douglas?
Was that The Saint?
The Ghost in the Darkness, about the man-eating lions in Africa.
That's do remember
my favorite movie.
I do remember that movie.
That is such a good movie, man.
He did one movie called The Saint, and he like some kind of spot. He has all these disguises. I never saw it. Everyone told me, he's like, you should see it. You'd like it. Never saw it. I don't even see that ever streaming.
Right.
But
yeah, The Ghost in the Darkness, man. That is such a good movie.
I will have to check that. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
I saw it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's been a while for me too. You still looking for that number?
Yeah, I'm making the post right now.
Oh.
So you can bring it up on the show.
Okay.
Let's see. And oh yeah, I need to post the number too. I made the post and I didn't post the number. Here we go.
That's funny.
And paste. And there we go. And you should see it any second. There it is. So leave that up for a second. Let folks jot that down. But you know what, Steven? You want me to call it for the fun of it?
Why not?
Yeah, let's do it. So here we go.
Welcome to Colin Oates, your emergency Hall and Oates helpline. To hear 101, please press 1. To hear it go, please press 2. To hear Manita, please press 3. To hear privatize, please press 4.
Wow.
Let's go 1-on-1. Oh, you don't like it?
You're going to get me for copyright, man. Come on. YouTube, can't do it, man.
Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, there's the Hall and Oates, the phone number for your emergency Hall and Oates. So yeah, if you're in dire need of a Hall and Oates song, you can now call and Oates.
Yeah.
What is it? 719-266-2837.
Yes.
Whoever thought of that was like stupid, but I want to be best friends with them. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, who's going to do that? People like me. Yeah. We were in the car, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, January. And I remember we were in the car and Julie said something about that. She said something about that song. There was a Hall & Oates song, and she goes, I like that song. I'm like, oh. And so what I do, I hit Call & Oates. I was like, is there another Hall & Oates song? Like, this is stupid. Hang up. I was like, nope. And I hit a button and listened to the song for, 30, 40 seconds. She's like, you're starting to make me mad.
Right.
Well, fine. And then I hung up. So, but yeah. Call & Oates.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
All right. Heath, we're going to finish up with a birthday, but this guy had a tragic end to his life. He is an American drummer who is known for his group, Toto. But he died of an allergic reaction to the pesticides after spraying his yard. Who am I talking about?
I do not know. Who did that happen to?
Jeff Porcaro.
What year did that happen?
1992. Jeff Porcaro, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, American drummer with the group Toto. He is known for the drumming on Rosanna and Africa. He died of an allergic reaction to the pesticides that he sprayed on his yard.
That is insane.
So sad, man.
In 1992, I am playing high school baseball. I am a sophomore. I'm starting. And I'm chasing girls. I'm just now starting to drive. I didn't care anything about anything in the world except the pretty girls in front of me and baseball practice and games that night and that afternoon. So I was kind of dead to the world then. But wow.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. I mean, you're out there just trying to make your grass look nice. Want to have a pretty yard, and it killed. Dude, I'm actually getting ready to spray my yard.
Wear gloves. Wear gloves.
And so, but that's insane. I've found this from the Weather Channel years ago, and had to run down the story. It took me forever to run down the story, but I found it. It's this home remedy of making your own spray, and it's got like mouthwash, dish detergent soap, beer. It's got like, I don't know, 6-8 things, and you make it and spray it on your yard. But this guy showed his yard, and there's a couple other people that did it. They were talking about how great it was, and so yeah, I sat there. I looked at my yard, and I told my wife, I was like, you know what? I still got that. I kept that thing in my drawer where I keep like my Q-tips and stuff. I actually keep it under the Q-tips. That recipe. It was on a little Post-it note. I didn't want to get rid of it. And so,
And
yeah.
Kane also said this too, Heath.
Well, there you go. I didn't even think about either one of those, gloves or a mask.
But you need to now because of that guy who died to an allergic reaction to pesticides he put on his yard in 92.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm technically putting pesticides on there.
Right.
Since it's, beer and Listerine and soap and what I forget. Like I want to go get the recipe and read it out to everybody. Like it's like the most random things.
Here it is.
Yeah, and it's in order too of how much to put in.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, okay, all right, got it. So yeah, dude, weeds are taking. I mowed grass yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I got weeds popping up already this morning, and I'm like, man, it ain't even been 12 hours, yo. I know.
All right.
I know.
So Heath, tomorrow on the Stingray Show, this will be our final show of the week, correct? Because you can't do Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday will be hard.
Okay.
I could do Friday, but it would be hard.
Okay. Because you've got a lot of things to do, and plus it is Good Friday. So tomorrow, we are going to be breaking down a game. Both teams desperately need a win after both teams got swept this past weekend, and Arkansas last night lost to Missouri State. We're going to be talking about the Hogs and the Tigers, Auburn and Arkansas, that starts tomorrow in the evening. We're going to be breaking that game down for you tomorrow morning right here on the Stingray Show, as we will have a beat writer from Arkansas and hopefully Heath, the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham, will join us in the morning to talk about both of those matchups when we talk about Auburn and Arkansas tomorrow on the Stingray Show. We will see you tomorrow morning right back here on social media. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday on April the 1st. Don't get fooled out there, as it is April Fool's Day out there. Happy April to everyone out there. And Heath, we are praying for you, and fingers crossed nothing is seriously wrong with your vehicle, and we will see you tomorrow.
Stephen, I was getting ready to share this with you because I did this as well. This is a great joke. Stephen, you need to play this on somebody today, okay? Google up the number, because there's several numbers, but if you're at the office, play this one in the office on somebody or on your spouse or family member, whatever. Get your little Post-it note, dry erase board, whatever it is that you use at your house, or text them and just say, someone named Jenny just called looking for you. And they're like, who? It's like, they didn't say, they just said Jenny. And like, was it Jenny? And then send them the number. Now be careful, because there's one number you call it and they just play the number 867-5309. But you got to be careful, because Jim Plumbing and Heating in Rhode Island bought the number for their area code because they thought it would be easy to remember. And also Totally 80s Pizza in Fort Collins, Colorado, the same place as the Air Force Academy.
Right.
We mentioned earlier. But there's also Cancer Support Helpline called Gilda's Club. So make sure you Google it, get the right one, send it unless you want them to call the plumber or the pizza place. But yeah, it's like someone named Jenny called, and here's their number, and so they won't get it, especially if you put the area code in front of it. They won't pick up on it, and they'll dial away. And once the song starts playing, they're like, "What is this?" And when they hear the number 8675309, they successfully played a harmless April Fool's joke on all your friends.
Yeah.
So
all right. So, Heath, that's much better than dog poop in a jewelry box.
Oh, man, don't bring that up, man. Miss Compton, I'm sorry. Miss Compton, I'm so sorry. Stephen, for April Fools, you should bring her on the show. I shouldn't have told you. I shouldn't have given you that idea.
Right.
Like, if I'd have showed up this morning and Miss Compton's here, I'd have been super excited. And then you'd bring up that story, and I would have been, like, embarrassed for life.
You'd be like,
still embarrassed for life.
Wasn't me.
Man, she was a beautiful, sweet, great woman who loved us kids. And she was a great teacher, loved her.
Yeah.
And she hugs me every time I see her to this day. There's nobody on this earth that's probably ever said a bad word about her. And I'm a terrible person. I'm just a terrible person. Thank you, Stephen. We're going to end the show, and I'm thinking I'm terrible. I got car trouble, and now I'm a terrible person.
Hey, you did it to yourself, man.
I did do that one to myself. I did.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow when we will be talking Auburn and Arkansas baseball. Both teams desperately need a win because both teams lost in the midweek last night. Who will win the series, Auburn or Arkansas? We will find out tomorrow. And also, good luck to Boomer Sooner and Roll Tide as they face off this weekend as well in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's some Thursday night games. Looking forward to those. And it's crazy, Stephen. We're already past the halfway point of baseball, not the SEC season, but just the baseball season in whole in college baseball. So yeah, really looking forward to kind of wrapping this up. But man, it's been a fun season so far, and no one has a clue who's going to win the SEC right now. We don't even have a clue.
Heath, I almost forgot to mention that team right there, the Sooners, tonight in basketball, tip off in Las Vegas on FS1 when they take on Colorado in the Crown tournament there in Vegas. Good luck to Boomer Sooner and bring home another title to the SEC, and we will catch you on the Thursday edition of the Stingray Show. I'm leaving you with this again, Heath. Boomer Sooner, let's go.
All right. Well, Stephen, enjoy your day. I hope you don't have any car trouble. I hope people don't leave you a jewelry box. And with that, good Lord willing, sayonara. I hope to see you tomorrow.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Don't get fooled too much today. See you tomorrow.
Be good, Stephen.
How would you like to live where you love in the state of Alabama? Whether it is you're upsizing, downsizing, retiring at the beach, or relocating for your job, then you are going to want to contact Celeste Hagler, owner of First Class Real Estate South Home Group, with brokers in Tuscaloosa, Orange Beach, and Huntsville. They can help you with the buying, selling, and investment needs throughout the state of Alabama. You can contact Celeste at 205-861-5698. Once again, that is 205-861-5698, and schedule a consultation to discuss your real estate goals anywhere across the state of Alabama.